Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News for Thursday, February 5. A special welcome to our viewers on YouTube, TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com. Here's what we have in the bulletin.
JMDA warns of UHWI disruptions if concerns not addressed. Integrity watchdogs react to Auditor General saga. And later in sports, Sunshine Girls lose first match of series versus Australia.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Carrie Simpson. Now the details. We begin this afternoon with news that Chief Justice Brian Sykes has accepted the guilty plea of former MP Joyland Silvera in the death of his wife Melissa. The decision was handed down in the gun court a short while ago. Mr. Silvera has pleaded guilty to manslaughter and using a firearm to commit an offense. He is to be sentenced on March 6. The Jamaica Medical Doctors Association, JMDA, is warning that operations at the University Hospital of the West Indies could be disrupted if the hospital's management does not address pressing concerns. The JMDA has requested a meeting by no later than Wednesday, February 11, to discuss the issues. The association says it has been trying since 2024 to engage the hospital over what it describes as unlawful practices related to doctors' compensation, staffing shortages, and the impact on patient care. The JMDA also criticized a previous one-hour meeting as inadequate and dismissive of their concerns. The doctors warn that if the hospital fails to take meaningful action by the deadline, they cannot guarantee the continuation of normal operations. Integrity watchdog groups, the National Integrity Action NIA and the Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal JAMP, believe Transport Minister Darrell Vaz must be held accountable for breaching procurement rules. They were responding to the Auditor General's report on Power 106 FM's Morning Agenda.
In the Auditor General report tabled in the lower house on Tuesday, it noted that the purchase of 200 Starlink devices for $12 million following Hurricane Melissa violated Jamaica's public procurement laws. The Auditor General said its examination of letters showed that Minister of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications Darrell Vaz had started the purchase of the devices through a letter to the ODPEM Director General dated November 13, 2025. Acting in his role as co-chair of Relief and Recovery Oversight Committee created by the government. In response, Minister Vaz defended his actions, declaring he will not apologize. But for the principal director of the National Integrity Action, Dr. Gavin Myers,
it wasn't that the procurement systems failed, it was that they weren't used. And even when the attempt was being made to use it, it was attempted to use retrospectively or retroactively. So it shows that people understand that the systems can work, but people chose not to.
Dr. Myers added that Minister Vaz's actions was a blatant disregard of the processes.
The systems that are there, there's a systematic breaching. There's somewhat of an approach that is saying that, look here, these don't work for me. I am choosing to do something else, even though something there can work. And that is problematic.
For her part, Executive Director of the Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal, Jeanette Calder, said that while she understands that the minister's actions were well intended, they were in contravention of the law.
So the minister is trying to convince me, and I'm not convinced at all, that the systems put in place in an institution that is there to respond to an emergency would not have been able to respond quickly. I don't agree. Procurement methodologies are there precisely to deal with emergency situations. And for a situation like this, as Gavin said, they were not allowed to be tested and failed. The whole thing, the premise of the minister is that, look, nothing that government and parliament has done is good enough. Only what I decide to do for the people of Jamaica will be good enough.
As for his response to the Auditor General's report, she believes Minister Vaz should be held accountable and apologize to the people of Jamaica.
The minister has broken laws, which he shouldn't break. He is to be held accountable for it, notwithstanding his well-intention. But the minister should be turning around to Jamaica to say, as the chair of this oversight committee, I am going to hold to account the Office of the Police Commissioner for putting down 41 of these devices that cost the country so much and haven't used it.
In the meantime, Principal Director of the National Integrity Action, Dr. Gavin Myers, also highlighted the issue of interference at the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management by government officials.
There's a culture that you are above the rules. There's a culture that you have the right to intervene, even where legally you cannot tread. There's this culture that feels like because you are who you are, you can say and do whatever it is, and then how dare anyone ask you to be held to account? And this culture is something that is very worrisome. So the perception is being made that there are no rules that can hold you. And as a Jamaica, we have a written constitution. We have a written constitution that is supreme.
Jamaica is now home to one of the largest cold storage and agro-processing facilities in the Caribbean. The Essex Valley project was officially opened on Wednesday. Anthony Atkinson has the details.
For years, farmers have struggled with excess produce and limited processing options. This is about to change with the opening of the Essex Valley Agro-processing facility and administrative building. The facility, which aims to support mass management and assist farmers in properly handling and adding value to their produce, was officially handed over during a ceremony held on Wednesday. Speaking at the event, Minister of Agriculture Floyd Green said the facility represents just the beginning of world-class infrastructure being developed within the island's agriculture sector.
What we're doing here is creating a hub for our farmers. So you will have the Agro-Invest Corporation, you will have your RANA Extension Officer, you will have your National Irrigation Commission, and we also have put a room for training that you can come and get trained in relation to what is happening in the world with our new methodologies around agriculture.
Minister Green added that ensuring a consistent supply of agricultural produce is a major priority, noting that stable pricing is key for consumers.
One of the problems that we see in agriculture is oftentimes our farmers have to go to multiple places to interact with the government agencies that deal with agriculture. So they want to find Agro-Invest, they have to find an office, the closest office, which in this instance might be Kingston. They want to find the National Irrigation Commission, they go down to Hounslow. But then if they want to find RADA, they have to go over to Santa Cruz. We are saying, why not put everything in one place?
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says that as agricultural projects continue to expand across Jamaica, the sector will finally be better equipped to manage excess production, creating greater opportunities for farmers.
Control excess production by having the ability to store and repurpose through processing, to give greater certainty to farmers of making a return from their output, and greater certainty to consumers in the price that they face at the market, and an expansion in output by adding greater value to the initial production.
Anthony Atkinson, TVJ News.